I'm Luis from LuisReviewer.com here, welcoming you to a new episode of my podcast. Um, so I wanted to call uh, this podcast episode the nostalgic episode because mainly what I'm going to be talking about it's a few classic things that I used to see when I was a kid. Because I found myself in these past few weeks really immersed in seeing them again. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I wanted to begin with a little bit of news. Um, I don't know. I am a big fan of movies, and one of my favorite times of the year is basically January when we start with the awards season. I usually try to see the most of them. Uh, of course, the Golden Globes, the Academy Awards; those two are the main ones. But I enjoy the SAG Awards, the Critics' Choice Award, and I try to see as many as I can. But of course, this year is going to be different in a lot of ways because I think the time frame to accept a film for nomination changed because not all films were displayed on theaters because of what happened in 2020 with COVID. Um, so it's a different year because I really don't know. I have a few films that I know or have like the idea that they might get nominated, uh, but it's not as clear as years past. I can think of Sophia Loren as an actress for uh, the film that she made that is on Netflix, and a few others, but uh, there's no clear favorites in any way. But anyway, once I hope once we see what is nominated, uh, hopefully some films are available so I can watch as many as I can, so I can pick my favorites like I do every year. So I'm not a fan of this red carpet thing. I just like the show itself and even I know sometimes the winners I think they get picked for other reasons than just the performance, but I still like I still enjoy it, and I still like to see if I can pick a few winners. So I wanted to begin this podcast. So if you're uh, a fan of these awards like me, I'm going to give you a few dates that I think were released. I don't know when, but I kind of found them this week, and it's the dates where we either get the award ceremony or the nominees. Now we're gonna start in February 3rd, which I think is next week. We're gonna get the Golden Globe nominations. So as we all know, the Golden Globes cover television and film. So it's a broader ceremony. So we're gonna see what happens there. We're gonna get the nominations on February 3rd, and on February the 4th, we're gonna get the Screen Actors Guild nominees, which these awards, if you don't know, are focused on the actors themselves, not the films. There are awards for the actors' performances, best cast, and all that. So instead of best picture, you have best cast. So you have an idea of. And on the February 28th, so finally next month, we're gonna get the first one, which is usually the Golden Globes in January. They've been pushed back to February 28th. And on the 15th of March, we're gonna get the Oscar nominations, and the ceremony will be held on April 25th. Sorry. So those are the dates for the two main ones and the SAG Awards, and the Critics' Choice. It's around February and March also. So it's all between those few months. We're gonna be getting those ceremonies, which they're usually earlier, but we're gonna get them. I don't know how they're gonna be. I'm sure they're gonna be without crowds, or we don't know how's it gonna be around that time. So we're gonna have to wait and see in that sense. So I just wanted to share that here, just in case you're interested like me. So you know the dates. I can't wait for the nominations to get announced. Mainly because I want to know what films to see. Because I want to see as much of the films as I can if I haven't seen them, which I believe I probably will have not seen a lot of them. But maybe once I get the list, I try to watch as much as I can. So what I've been what I've been up to. In terms of films, I only saw one, which I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. But I did see a few classics. Not classics, just old films like Last of the Mohicans, which I believe is one amazing film. I think I wrote in the review on my page, luisreviewer.com, that it affected me the same way it did when I saw it in the 90s. I think there was the year it was released. It was such a great, beautiful film, great performance by Daniel Day Lewis. I mean, he was uh, amazing in it. And so I saw that one. I saw Something's Gotta Give with Jack Nicholson. I wrote a bit of a review for it. And Open Water, saw it last week, I think. But I didn't talk about it on the podcast. But the film that I saw was Unhinged. I actually saw it today. And it stars Russell Crowe. And I have to say, I found the premise really interesting. The taking the road rage focus, just to have this guy on the road following you. I think I wrote that it felt like I was watching Jaws, but in cars. You know, it was really crazy. So I liked the movie. The movie was really tense. It had a lot of suspense. But I liked the first half for more. I liked it when it was just him stalking her in his car, rather than the second half of the film where he started killing people like crazy. So, I mean, the film was good. I mean, it had a lot of action scenes. It had a lot of tense scenes. Tense. It was very suspenseful. I think you didn't know what the character was going to do next. What I would have loved for the film would have been more scarier to me if they kept it a bit more real, because there is a scene where he does an atrocity in a restaurant. Now I know nobody's gonna jump on him, but I don't think people are just gonna stay there just seeing what was going on without taking action. And so I think those things. I mean, I know it's a film, but I think they should have maybe made the scenes a little bit more real. I think that would have made it more scarier. Russell Crowe was great in it. He gave a beautiful performance. He was great in it. I haven't seen him in a while. It was good seeing him again. He's a great actor, and I think it's a very entertaining film. I think it's. I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I was when I was watching it, I was remembering Falling Down, the film with Michael Douglas. Great film, Falling Down. It was maybe a similarity in that this he was angry at society. Of course, I think both characters had a bit of mental illness, but I think those two characters are very similar in that they wanted to correct things in society by doing crazy things. So Unhinged, I just rented it on Redbox if you're interested. I think it was a good film. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into just talking what I've been up to and why I wanted to call this the nostalgic episode. Um, first of all, I want to get into. I think I said in one of my YouTube videos when I was ranking the Marvel films that one of the things I used to do was every Saturday I would go up to the store and buy a lot of comics. And I found, I mean, I'm slowly getting into buying again those comics that I used to read. And I stumbled upon an app, a Marvel Unlimited app, that is kind of like Netflix with comics. And I quickly got the free week, and now I'm hooked. I'm reading old comics. I'm reading new comics that I never read. I'm reading comics like the Spider-Man, where Todd McFarlane did the art. I'm reading the Punisher from issue number one, Silver Surfer, X-Men, all the classic episodes, and I'm reading new comics like Thor, the symbiote Spider-Man, which is very interesting, and I'm about to read the new issues of Wolverine, and I'm reading actually um, the comics where maybe the One Division series is being based upon, and I'm loving it. I never read Scarlet Witch and Vision comics when they were in the '90s or when I collected them. So this is very interesting for me. I mean, this is really interesting, and I'm really enjoying this app. And it has all the comics. I mean, it has. I mean, you get the Amazing Spider-Man number one all through a lot of the issues. So I'm really enjoying it right now. Like I said, I'm on the 12 miniseries, that the limited series that they did for Wanda and Vision, and after that, I'm reading The House of M, which was recommended um, by a group that I follow on Facebook, Cultura Geek, which is a great page if you want to follow them. And so that's bringing back the nostalgia in me, because I mean, these were great periods. Me and my friend, a friend of mine, we go to my backyard with the issues we bought that day, and just sit in chairs, and we would read, and it was fun. And now I'm reliving that in a way, and I'm enjoying these comics once again, and enjoying the new ones because I was disconnected in terms of new stories. So that's part one of why I want maybe to call it the nostalgic episode. If you're a comic fan and like me, I cannot buy all the all the back comics that I liked, or even new ones, because of space. This is a great alternative. I read them on my iPad. They look great. It's not the same, I'll give you that, but it's a great alternative. You don't need uh, you don't need a big place to put them. You have them in your iPad or your phone. I don't know if your computer, but I have it on on the iPad because that's where I like to read it. So yeah, Marvel Unlimited. I think it's a good app. DC has one, which is DC app, where you can get TV shows, movies, and the comics. But when I had the app, I didn't get that into the comics, and I don't know why. I tried to get into DC, but their drawings. I don't know, something about. I bought a few stories from Batman, which the stories were good, but the drawings kind of put me off a little bit. But Marvel, no, I like both the stories and the images. So along those lines, um, I wanted to do uh, like a top 10 of my favorite cartoons when I that I used to watch. Um, I don't think there's new ones. And how did I get to this point? Is because thanks to HBO Max, Disney Plus, I found myself watching Batman the animated series, Spider Man, X Men, and it got me thinking. Just remember of all those great and Hulu. I'm watching Thundercats, so I wanted to like count down my favorites when I was growing up. Uh, that I used to watch every Saturday morning. Saturday mornings were great. I mean, from the cartoons to Saved by the Bell, Hand Time, California Dreams, which I'm also seeing on YouTube. Uh, I mean, it was great. Saturday mornings were great. So I want to start at number 13. I picked 13. There are a lot more, but I want to start with The Simpsons. Now, I know The Simpsons were not on Saturday morning, but they were animation. and I used to love the first three seasons of it. I think after a point I stopped watching. I haven't watched the 30 seasons that they have, but those first two seasons, I mean, those episodes are really in my collective memory. I even remember the episode where they go camping because that was I stopped watching the Bulls game because they were losing, and I watched that episode and I found out later that they won their second championship and I didn't see it, but I saw the Simpsons. It was a cool episode. So the first two seasons of the Simpsons, I think they were really great, unique, and I mean, I think they were good for 10, maybe 15. But I think at some point it just I don't know. But like I said, at the 90s, I think it was a great cartoon. At number 12, put in Mask. Now I don't remember much, but I do remember liking the show. I do remember having the toys, the cars, the one with the doors open like that. And I've seen before when I was doing the list, I saw clips, and it was really cool. I mean, back then, I don't know, the cartoons were just so creative. They had good stories. They had good intro music. I mean, they were perfect. So at number 11, this is a little bit of a silly cartoon, but I used to love it. It was based on the movie Beetlejuice. So it's Beetlejuice. It was a weird cartoon, but I remember I used to like it a lot, and I used to see it. I think it ran Saturdays maybe. At number 10, I'm going with Voltron. Uh, it's a classic. Again, this one I know that, and I plan to see it. There's a new version of it on Netflix, but I do remember loving it, and that's why I'm including it on the list. Now this one at number 9 is a weird one, and it's called The Head. And this one it was on MTV's Liquid Television. It was the story of an alien who came into this guy and gave him this big head, and it cracked open and the alien came out. It was weird, but it was just so much fun and unique. And I think it started like a short, and then it progressed into a series, which I loved. It was absolutely fun. It was weird, like I said, but it was fun. At number 8, He-Man. He-Man and She-Ra. I'm gonna put them together. Uh, He-Man. Enough said, really. I still like it. I mean, I'm sad that they took it out of Netflix because they had it on Netflix. Just like She-Ra, they took it out just to put the new version, which I haven't seen it, but I don't know. Some things for me, I just don't touch them again. Let them be. Heathcliff. Now, people, I don't know who. I mean, Garfield is more famous, but I always prefer Heathcliff. I always loved the stories, the adventures of the mischievous cat. So I don't know if it's that known, but I've always liked it more than Garfield. Number 6, Silverhawks. This is a classic. I found out that it was made by the same people who made Thundercats. A great cartoon. I mean, it was really fun. Number 5, Spider-Man of the 90s, the animated series. Of course, the classic 60s was fun, was good. But of course, back in the 90s, the animation was better, the stories were better. Um, so yeah, that's number 5. And I'm not currently watching it on Disney Plus. Transformers, number 4. Transformers, I still like it. And I'm watching a new version of this cartoon on Netflix. I saw chapter 1, which was War on Cybertron, and now the second part of the story just came available on Netflix. I'm watching that. It's very good. I like it because even though it's new style of animation, they have the same formats as the classic ones. I don't know if I said it well, but they have the same form. You know, Megatron looks like the old Megatron. That's what I meant. At number 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is one of my all-time favorite cartoons. I'm trying to buy the whole set because I want to see them again. But it's I mean I love them. I love the Turtles. What can I say? I still do. At number two, Batman the Animated Series. Now this one is on HBO Max. I'm also watching it currently, seeing it again. Um, I think it's one of the best animated series ever. The stories, the style of it, it's just such a perfect series. And it has everything that makes Batman great. I mean, from the stories, the music, the style of it, and from the series, the progressive movies like Mask of the Phantasm, which were great. So the animated series from Batman to me still stands out as one of the best Batman related things we have. Number one for me, I had to say Thundercats. I'm also watching it on Hulu. So I mean, I used to have all those toys. I remember playing with them. I had Lionel's sword. Man, I had fun those days. I still do. But anyway, that's me just being a little bit nostalgic, talking about some cartoons. I mean, uh, we can grow, but we can still enjoy uh, things with childish things, maybe. So anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in, whether you saw the video or you heard the podcast. I hope everything is okay, and see you next time.